everyone. I'm feeling so awkward. This is gonna get better. This is gonna get better. La da 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 da. Okay. It's quite obvious that this is my first YouTube video. I'm feeling disgustingly awkward, but I know it'll get better. I know maybe it'll become a little natural. Maybe I'll get good at this. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna introduce myself. So if you are coming from Instagram, if you're coming from TikTok, you kind of already know what I'm about. My name's Sarah. I'm the owner of Viv Jewelry, my small business that sells jewelry, accessories. I'm kind of going into the illustrative realm right now as well, and I think like now's the time for me to start a YouTube channel because I want to connect more personally to you guys, and I want to show a little bit more behind the scenes of like what I do, what my day's like. I do that a lot on my Instagram, but I think it's very structured, and I'd love to just make these nice, not so structured videos for YouTube to show you guys kind of like how I do it. If you've followed me for a little while, I have pretty much grown like to where I am now in the last year. I started the business in May of 2019, but I wouldn't say that was the beginning of the business. That was the beginning of me finding this hobby of polymer clay. And I think it honestly took me probably until the beginning of last year to actually make it a full business. Like I was just dabbling. I was doing markets and stuff in 2019, but I think 2020 was the year that like it was time. It was time. I'll speak more about that in other videos, but I just wanted to hop on here, introduce myself, kind of tell my story, and then just kind of tell you what this channel will be about. A lot of people want to know how I started, and it was very random. It was incredibly unexpected. I'm in Toronto, and I've been living here for about 4 years now, and I moved here from Kingston, Ontario, 2.5 hours east, because I did a art program in high school, and I decided I wanted to carry that on. So I went to OCAD in Toronto, and I took illustration because I've always been really into drawing. That's been my go-to, I'd say. And the teacher that I had in my art program told me that would probably be the best decision. So she told me illustration would be the best decision, and I have been creative for as long as I can remember. I have never really wanted to do anything else. I've never thought of myself doing anything else but something creative. Not even like a second thought. Maybe like when I was a little bit younger, I would worry like, oh, but starving artists, like jobs like that don't actually exist. But I went for it anyways, which is really scary because I was 17 and I moved here all alone, and it was the best decision of my life. I lived in a really horrible place, like a basement. It had rats, it was dirty, it would flood. I met my best friend in first year, and we've been inseparable ever since. And so I went through OCAD, and well, it was okay. It wasn't anything like I expected. I realized I had no idea what illustration meant. It is not just drawing whatever you want, especially because OCAD framed it in a way where it's all about the client, which I wouldn't argue that, but at the same time, I felt like it was very outdated. Okay, so they never told you that social media can be your job, because the way they framed it is, oh, you're gonna get a call from New York Times at 8 p.m. and they're gonna need a full illustration, full color at 8 a.m. So you're gonna have to work all night, and you're gonna have to do 30 sketches, and you're gonna have to do this, and blah, 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 blah. And that's just the life, and you just have to submit to it. And as someone that goes to bed at 9 p.m., it was like really daunting. I went through it anyways, and I kind of just like figured out my own way to do this because I've always been an early sleeper, early riser. I love mornings. And I felt like from the beginning I didn't fit in, even like with students, because if you're an illustrator like that, like the way they're teaching, you have to kind of be a night owl. Like I guess it's the life they promote. I'm just not like that. I'm not wired like that. But I went through it, and honestly, I don't want to slander OCAD so much, but it was exhausting. I don't think people realize how hard art school is, especially like a design program. It's cutthroat. Some professors were really mean. They were so mean, and like some of them I'm like, how do you even have a job? I'm not gonna get into that. Maybe another time if you guys want to see that. But so what ended up happening is I would do 8 months of intense work, like the research, the drawing, the critiques, like everything, all 8 months, creative all the time. By the time summer came or April came, I was exhausted. I didn't want to do anything creative. So usually for like the 4 months, I wouldn't do a single thing creative. I just stopped. And then when school came, I'd be forced to. So I finished 3rd year, and I was like, this summer, I don't want it to be like that. I really don't. I want to be creative, and I don't want to let OCAD have that power over me. But I was like, I just can't see myself doing illustration all summer, which is horrible because that was my profession that I wanted to do. So I was like, I'm just gonna play with like some handmade stuff. I'm gonna make some pots, play with some clay, just like have fun and like take that pressure away and enjoy being creative again and doing art again. So I did that. I bought some air dried clay. Oh my God, I'm gonna show you. I was gonna make flower pots. This was my first one. I still have it because it's like deep in my heart. I'm a hoarder as well, so I attach memories and nostalgia to everything. As you can tell, it's not the best, and I probably could have gotten better, but I was like, that sucked. I'm never doing that again. And then I don't know how I discovered it, but like I heard about polymer clay, and polymer clay is essentially a resin-based clay, and you bake it in your oven and it turns durable. So this is like a random piece, and when you bake it, it is like a plastic, but it comes in all these fun colors that you can mix. You can use like cookie cutters, you can do all these things. I was like, that looks like the funnest thing in the world. Why don't I just try it? And so I did, and I made like the worst pairs of earrings ever. They were really shitty. They would break, they'd crumble, but the fact that I made something and like glued a stud on it and could put it in my ears, I was over the moon. That was just so incredible to me that I could just make stuff to wear, like a totally different form of art that I'd never been introduced to. Like I'd never tried it. I'd never been introduced to it. No one in school ever told me that was even any sort of possibility. So I was just, for like a month or so, I was just playing around with it. I had like my friends and my boss at my other job, just saying like, just keep going. Like that would be so much fun. And I just became obsessed, like obsessed. By that point, it had been about a month, and I was still playing around. I was making more intricate things. And so my boss was telling me I should go just like sell them on the street. And that's like terrifying to think of, because I don't know, when you're a little bit younger and you think of like a big city, the fact of like a young girl selling on the street is like a big no-no. But I had like a fire in me. It took me a little bit of time to build up any sort of courage, but once I had like a couple pieces, I took a cork board and like a milk crate, and I went to Queen Street, around Queen and Spadina, and I just sat down on the floor. My best friend Mariella, who's also my roommate, came with me. She sat with me. We were on literally just sitting on the sidewalk, just like listening to music, people were passing. This was like around May, end of May, and I made my first sale. And that was just incredible. She bought 2 things. She was like, this is amazing. This is so cool. I think another person or another 2 people bought some things, and I made $50 that day. And that, like, $50 is not a lot, but that lit something. That sparked the biggest fire inside of me, because I was like, I could come out here, I could spend 2 hours of my day, I'm not doing anything else, it's summer, and I could just put the stuff that I love to make out and just sell it. Like, speechless. So I kept going, I kept making new stuff, I would go out and sell all summer. I realized I didn't like Spadina that much, kind of sketchy, you know, Queen and Spadina McDonald's. I was getting like some weird people coming at me, so I went to Kensington. Loved Kensington. I met some like seller friends there, just like the best summer ever. And I also went to Trinity Bellwoods, and I just all summer just a constant production of making, selling. I was making, like, in retrospect, not that much money, but more money than I'd ever had, because for school I was on student loans, like I had like a part-time job, like, so I felt like I was rich. What's amazing was, like, it wasn't even about the money. Like, it was just me having the time of my life, just like realizing people love this stuff and are willing to support me. And I had like an Instagram, I had like 200 followers. It was like, I was doing like a couple markets. And then the time came, so this was all summer, and the time came where I had to decide, am I going to go back to school? Like, this is so much fun. I could see a future, but I still have, it's supposed to be 1 year, but actually 2 years left because I didn't have all my credits. Do I go back to school and hope to pick this up again, or do I keep the momentum going and take a year off, take a semester off? So I pitched it to my family, even though technically it shouldn't even be their decision, which it wasn't, but I had to pitch it to them, and I just said, like, hey, I'm doing this awesome thing. I'm having so much fun. I think it could go somewhere, and I'm gonna take a semester off school. And if that goes well, a year off school, and we'll see where it goes. I don't think they took me seriously, which I can understand. Like, just, I found a hobby and now I'm just gonna like randomly pursue it. Okay, like, for a while it was like, that's a hobby, like that's a craft, you're doing arts and crafts all day, like why would you throw away your future career for that? But like, even though I had those doubts as well, I just like, I could feel it, like when you feel something. And I just like had so much faith in myself, and I had my friends here that have actually seen me working so hard behind the scenes, being like, you'd be a fool to just give that all up. So I didn't, and I did some Christmas markets. I spent my entire holiday season of 2019 just like a workshop. I was like Santa, and I was like the elves too. I was everything. And I was so tired. I was incredibly burnt out, but like the feeling after my last Christmas market, after my last like sale of 2019, I just like, I think I cried all day. The feeling of just that intense proudness of yourself, and like, to me, that's only the beginning as well. It was just, that feeling is just, it gets me choked up. After my first semester of not going back to school, I had already decided, like, I'm not going back. But to tell that kind of stuff to your family, who everyone's pretty much an academic. I have 2 older brothers, they're both academics. They'll probably tell me different, but like, I'm the black sheep. My dad's pretty creative, but never, I would say, fully pursued it. he's pursued it in his own ways, but I'm the only one that's just completely gone upstream. And even okay, first of all, even just going to art school is going upstream, but going to art school and dropping out and starting my own thing is just like, I'm just gone. I've always kind of felt like a black sheep, and that's okay. I've really gotten used to it, but my family wholeheartedly supports me now, which is just like amazing. I think it took a really long time to get them to realize, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is all I want to do. I don't want to be a millionaire, but I think I can make a living off of this, and I think I'd rather do this than anything else. I can't see myself doing absolutely anything else in my entire life. I think just showing them my passion and just saying, hey guys, I need you to back me up. They've all just like completely come around now, thank goodness. Just had like some friends here that like supported me, and everyone here has been so supportive, but to have your family who doesn't really understand and doesn't actually know like the type of things that you do on a daily basis, I think that can be really hard. But I feel a lot of love and support these days, and I'm really grateful for that. And 2020 was just, despite all the bad things, for my business, it was incredible because the lockdown really helped me just like focus 100% on, hey, what do I want this to be like in a year, 5 years, 10 years? Like what is my plan, and how am I going to improve? How am I going to get better? What's in store for me? I've done a lot of thinking about that, and I've been able to expand not just from jewelry, but taking my jewelry and putting my own illustration work in it, and taking that and taking my illustration work and the style that I have and putting it to other mediums. I've started making pots now. My focus at this point is to just broaden. I love jewelry. I love making that stuff. I love making pots. I love illustration work. How can I combine all of this and just feel so whole with my illustration work and just make that me? And so that's what I'm working on these days. And I think just the support I've gotten from that has just been so overwhelming, and I'm just so passionate about it. And I can't believe I'm at this place now. When I started the year, I had 700 followers. Well, sorry, when I started 2020, I had 700 followers. And this month, January, or it's February, but in January, I hit 11K. So that's just insane. That's a big intro. I don't know if you guys have like ideas of videos that you'd want to see, please let me know. I'm new to this. I think that's a good start. And I'm just so excited to show you guys what I'm up to, what I'm doing. In terms of this channel, I'd love to do like some studio tours, just some vlogs, some chatting, some showing you my materials, my resources, just being kind of like a friend. I just realized I'm not wearing any earrings, and that's messed up, man. That's messed up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back very, very soon with my first vlog. It'll probably be like a weekly vlog, maybe monthly. I don't know at this point. I don't know how this goes. I'm filming on my iPhone camera. If you've got a little bit of time, if you've got like 30 seconds, you could maybe, subscribe, maybe comment down below. I'll answer every comment. Like this, please like it. I know there's a dislike button. Please, who would ever do that? That would make me feel horrible. So Let's not do that. Let's like it, subscribe, and comment. Okay. Thanks for watching. Bye.